So for my book, I chose one from the Franklin series. I don't know if anybody read these when they were little, but these were some of my favorite books. I felt like they always had really good messages. So this one's called Franklin's Bad Day. I'm actually just going to read it first, and then at the end I'll talk about why I picked it and what I think I could do with this in a real life situation. So we'll get started. Bear with me, it's going to be kind of difficult reading through the screen. I might read sideways. Franklin loved to play outside in winter. He could skate forward and backward. He liked to catch snowflakes on his tongue and make angels in the snow. But today was different. Franklin was having a very bad day. It started in the morning. Franklin was grumpy when he woke up. "That's a grouchy face," teased his father. "Yes, it is," said Franklin. He crossed his arms and frowned. "Would you like a nice breakfast?" asked his mother. "No," said Franklin. His mother made breakfast anyway. Franklin stared out the window. Heavy gray clouds pushed across the sky. "It's even a bad day outside," grumbled Franklin. He picked at his food. For the rest of the morning, nothing went right. Franklin knocked over his juice and broke his favorite cup. He couldn't find his marbles, and the last piece of his puzzle was missing. Franklin slammed a door and stomped his feet. "You seem awfully cranky," said his mother. "I am not," shouted Franklin. Just then, Bear knocked on the door. Franklin peeked out. "Do you want to make a snowman or ride on my sled?" asked Bear. Franklin sighed. "I don't want to do anything." "Please?" said Bear. "Fresh air will do you good," said his parents. "Out you go with Bear." They handed Franklin his hat and mittens. Franklin pouted as he bundled up and went outside. The two friends walked along the path near Otter's house. "Let's ask Otter to come out," said Bear. Franklin gave Bear a puzzled look. "Oh, I forgot," said Bear sadly. "Otter moved away yesterday." They didn't talk all the way to the hill. Franklin kneeled at the front of the sled, and Bear sat behind him. Bear gave a push. "Let's go!" he shouted. The sled glided halfway down the slope, and then it stopped. They had landed on a bear patch. "Oh no!" wailed Franklin. "What a terrible day!" The hill was no fun, so Beaver suggested they go to the pond. When they arrived, the pond was roped off. "No skating today," warned Mr. Mole. "The ice is thin." Franklin lost his temper. "This is my worstest day ever." "There's no such word as worstest," said Beaver. "There is for me," said Franklin. "I'm leaving." Franklin stormed home. He threw his skates and his slushy, mushy mittens on the floor. "Please pick up your things," said his mother. "No," he yelled. Franklin was sent to his room. Franklin was so furious that he kicked his castle. His father came running when he heard the crash. "What's going on in here?" Franklin lay on the floor and cried. "Don't worry," said his father. "You can build the castle again." "But I made that castle with Otter, and she's not here anymore," sobbed Franklin. "Oh, now I understand," said Franklin's father. "You're mad and sad because your friend moved away." Franklin nodded. "And you miss her a lot," his father said. "Yes," agreed Franklin in a small voice. They hugged each other for a long time. "Otter and I did lots of things together," said Franklin. "Now we can't." "You can still be friends," said Franklin's father. "You can share your feelings by calling or writing." Franklin thought for a moment. "Do we have a big envelope and some stamps?" he asked. Franklin spent the rest of the day making a scrapbook for Otter. He filled it with pictures and drawings of the two friends together. Near the back, Franklin put a dozen envelopes. He printed his address on each one. On the last page, he wrote, "Please write to me. Then we can stay friends forever." As he walked to the mailbox, Franklin felt better. Snow was falling, and it was getting cold enough for the pond to freeze. Franklin had a feeling that tomorrow would be a good day. So I thought this was a really good book to pick, just because we've talked a lot about loss in terms of death, and so this is a different kind of loss. I know we mentioned it in the beginning of the class, but how losing a friend can really hurt. I know I'm 21 years old, and for me, losing a friend, that would be very difficult. much less, a little kid who doesn't understand why a friend may be moving away. So I think this is a good book because it shows that little kids, I think, sometimes struggle with expressing what's the matter. So rather than Franklin just coming out and saying, I'm really upset because Otter's gone and I don't have my best friend anymore, he acts out. He doesn't know how to act. He's, feeling all these emotions between upset and angry and frustrated. And so he acts out to get attention and to express the way that he's feeling. And I think that's very common a lot of times with kids, is they just result to acting out because they're not yet mature enough to talk about their feelings or express them in a better way. So I thought this was a good example because it's very relevant to today's kids. What I would probably do with this is I would actually probably read this story to a little kid who is maybe experiencing the same thing. Obviously, for something like the loss of a parent to death or something, that would be very different. But if it was a loss of a friendship or someone moving away, I think this would be a perfect example to show that it's normal to act out in ways. It's normal to feel angry and sad and upset and confused, just as Franklin did. But there are better ways to express that, such as writing them a letter or, painting them a picture, or calling them on the phone. There's still ways that you can keep in contact with someone without it being a huge loss. So you can, with this day and age, we have FaceTime. So just kind of doing little activities to maybe make a card for them, or maybe get them on FaceTime, or plan out a time that with both parents that would work well to call and have the children talk on a weekly basis. So those would probably be my ideas after reading this book to the child. I would probably go from there. Thanks for watching.